Hello, 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 hello. How you guys? Yeah, uh, it's Wednesday, 7 p.m. And tonight we have Brandon Peterson, goalkeeper from Bidvest Wits. Yeah. We gentleman is already here. Let's see what he has for us. Now, Kazi,
We
how's it, my man?
are good and you, brother.
Nah, good. Okay, some of us have not been to the barber. Well, now you've been to the barber. What's happening?
I'm my friend. You can see number one.
Clean and
COVID
shave.
cut.
Or you
No,
call it?
number one, my friend. Yeah, my wife is my barber.
Eish, I think I should go that side and get myself a haircut.
My friend, you can come to me. I'll do it for
Yeah,
free.
for free. No, you'd
Yeah,
never charge.
no charge.
You, bro, you'd never charge me, so I won't stress myself.
Obvious.
I'll just Uber myself that side, then I'm sorted.
Yeah, that's all. Just get yourself this side, then we have a cut. You go home fresh.
Otherwise, how's COVID treating you, my man?
COVID is COVID. I'm alright, my brother. I'm surviving. Obviously, missing football,
Hmm.
playing, training, seeing the gents, but other than that, I'm enjoying my time with my family, my
Yeah,
daughter, my wife.
hmm.
So I can't complain.
Bonding session. I think it's
Yeah,
like the first time in all your football career you've been with your family for such a long time.
definitely.
Hmm.
That's what I said. I said this time is definitely that for me it was like a blessing in disguise,
Hmm.
because obviously in season you don't get to spend a lot of time with your wife and your little one. And now in
Hmm.
this time you literally see them, see your little one grow. And
Yeah,
it's amazing for me.
yeah. And you know what? It's a good thing that we had this live. It was the first time ever seeing Jules watching the lives. I also saw Shivan here. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we having this chat.
My friend, stick with me, I'll
and,
make you famous.
and guess who else? Tammy. Tammy's also here. Wow. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. A lot of people that are coming, and I'm shocked. It was a blessing in disguise having you. But Pisa, normally when we have someone over for the chat, what we normally do is we give them the opportunity man to introduce themselves, who they are, where they from, love of football and stuff like that. So it's your chance now.
Yeah, okay, so the name is Brandon Peterson, nickname Biza. Born and bred Cape Town, Elsies River. Find myself in Joburg at the moment, in this dry place. um, I'm a born again Christian. My husband, I have a daughter. I'm married, and I have a son on the way. Um, I'm a goalkeeper at Bidvest Wits, and yeah, me, I'm in love with all sport. Basically, played any sport you can name. I tried it, played it on school. Um, Became a professional player in 2013. I escaped town and moved to Bidvest Wits last season or this season. Still in the season. So yeah,
And I must say, for a goalkeeper, you're scoring lately, nah?
my friend, it's the only chance I have to score. So chances to score here is 99.9%.
Must make
There's
sure
a
you
slight
finish.
chance I might score in a game, but my chances are better at home.
There's this saying that you always say. hard work beats talent when talent stops working. Why those words?
I think for me, like where I got that's obviously a famous saying, but you always get sayings and you just say it because other people say it. You just go with the crowd and all that. But
Mm,
I think for me, it's was a testimony in my life. Was when I got to Ajax, I came up against or there were other goalkeepers who were all in the national setup. I had your
mm,
Stanton Weers, your Stefan van Nils, Taufik Sali, Jody was there, Kyle Peters,
mm,
and for me, I came from a local club, obviously, and it, it, it was kind of new for me. Like I went to Ajax. Shavan, by the way, took me to Ajax, and not Uncle Louis, because Uncle Louis tell everyone he brought me to Ajax. But yeah, it was so for me, it was like I always saw people that were more talented than me,
mhm,
and it, it, it took me to tell myself, look, at the end of the day, we are all human beings, we are all footballers, and we are all here for a cause. And I had to start working hard, and because that's when I realized that, because along the way, I saw many footballers like fall by the wayside because of the mere fact they didn't want to work hard. They had all the talent in the world.
mm,
And that saying started making sense to me because that question was always there, like, this guy's so talented, but why isn't he going any further? But
yeah.
to realize afterwards that he wasn't willing to work hard, or he didn't want to work hard, he didn't feel the need to work hard.
Mm,
And that was the downfall. And I'm fortunate enough to, like, I worked with Siobhan at Trinitarians, and talk about hard work, my friend. Go work with that guy. And I had that like instilled in me at a young age. So
yeah.
for me it was never about what I achieve and all that stuff. For me it was always that whatever I do, to do it to the best of my ability. Always work hard, always grind, because things don't always go your way, but one thing you can control is what you do, and hard work you can always control. You know,
Mm,
your talent will take you this far, but that hard work will push that barrier.
yeah.
So yeah, that's why I'm a firm believer in that.
You speak about Shivan, and that that guy, as you say, he pushes you when it comes to training, and also that the fact that not Louis brought you to Ajax, it was Shivan that recommended you to Ajax. That's a story for another day. Tell me about the process of you ending up at Ajax, like from Trinitarians to Ajax.
Yeah.
Did you go for
So
trials? What happened?
yeah. So I'll start from the beginning. I started. My parents, my father never really wanted me to play for a club at a young age
Mm,
because for him it was always about what if you get an injury and you can't play again, stuff like that. And my family's a rugby family, so they like rugby. My grandfather played rugby, all that, so they wanted me to play rugby because I played rugby
Thomas.
till in matric,
Thomas.
and I was quite good, if I have to say so myself. So this one, I asked my father if I could go play for a club and all that, and I I actually went to a team before Trinitarians called Central AFC, but I played one game for them, and I
Yeah.
played as a winger. So with my pace and I was my pace. down the wing. So after that, I decided, look, nah, it's too much running, man. I can't run this much in a game, my friend.
You were just lazy. Just say you were lazy.
Nah, I was never lazy, my friend. I had too much energy. But that running, yeah. After that game, I decided. But I think it was always in me. Like they say,
Mm,
goalkeepers are born and not made. So I
mm,
think it was in me to be a goalkeeper. And anyway, I told the coach, look, uh, I don't want to be a wing anymore. I think I want to be a goalkeeper. I don't know what made me do that, but
mm,
at that time he told me, look, the goalkeeper we have is obviously better than you because you want to transition into a goalkeeper. He's already a goalkeeper and all that. I said, okay, no, fine then. I'll go find me a team where I can be a goalkeeper. Anyway, and but still, you know, not fighting, but having disagreements with my father and all that, playing for a club and whatever. And then eventually I had friends who played for Trinitarians,
mm,
and they all knew I wanted to be a goalkeeper then. And growing up, I was always with my father, them, and my brother, them. They played for the youth team. Always used to train with them, and then I used to be in the poles, you know. They used to hammer me all the time. And eventually it came about that Siobhan came to my father and he asked my father if I could, because they had an Easter tournament,
mm.
and he came to ask my father if I could come play and all that, and my father agreed, and I ended up playing for Trinitarians. Siobhan is my coach, Siobhan and Michael, and yeah, it was a nice time for me because it was all about family at that club, you know. Everyone
Yeah.
was so close and everyone supported you, and it was amazing, man. And
Mm,
from there, I was a goalkeeper, and then I played at Trinitarians. I started playing soccer at the age of what 13, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I started quite late
mm.
with my football, and it was never a serious thing for me. As long as I could do any sport, I was happy. Whether it's track and field, rugby, cricket, tennis, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as I could be in like doing sports, I was happy.
Yeah.
And I played at Trinitarians for I think 2 years, 3 years, 2 years I think if I'm not mistaken. And this day we decided, Siobhan told me, okay, let's go to Old Mutual. Gonna find out if I can go for trials at Old Mutual and all that shit. Okay, let's go. And we went, and the goalkeeper coach there told me,
Mm,
look, I have to come back. No, he didn't even give me a chance to train. He said I must come back in 2 weeks' time because their first choice goalkeeper is on trial in Germany,
mm,
and he wants me to come on trial when that keeper is there. I said, okay,
mm.
cool, no problem. While driving, Shavan told me, look here, let's go to Ajax, man. What's what's the worst thing they can tell you? At least you know you're gonna come back 2 weeks' time for trials here. Let's go find out with Ajax what's gonna happen. I said, look, what? Let's go. But they have nothing to lose. The worst thing can happen is they say no or whatever. We went there and obviously spoke to some coaches, and because Shavan at the time, Shavan was there at the club. We always used to go there at Ajax and all that. And eventually they said, okay, it's cool. I can come the next day. I can come train with the team and all that. So I went, my man. I was on trial at Ajax for a month, a full month, my friend, was just training, not
And you know
asking
what,
any questions.
Pizza,
I
and
was
you
just
know what,
enjoying myself.
Pizza, and you know what, the head scout at that time is here, Mr. Maliwa. That's he
Ah,
made it. He's
terra,
here. He's here.
o
What,
terra.
He must say why he made you train for a whole month before signing you.
Yeah, my
But
friend,
yeah,
I was training there. I was training there for a month. And look, me, I wasn't gonna ask any questions. My thing was as long as I'm training here, I'm not
you
asking
fine.
anything. Just know I ask something and then they say, okay, no, you can't come back. So I was just there doing my work at the time. Coach Brian van der Heever was the goalkeeper coach
Mm,
and great guy, amazing goalkeeper coach. And I worked with him and obviously he saw something in me, you know. And eventually after a month, they told me, look, we're gonna sign you. Got there, was excited, and from there, it was still not serious for me until I signed my first professional contract, and I had to stop playing rugby. So yeah,
And then what happened to Mutual? Because Mutual said you must come back after 2 weeks, but you trained at
my
Ajax for the whole
friend,
month.
that's a funny story because they
This,
never,
this,
no,
this,
they never
this
called
Chivon
me
guy.
or never said anything. That coach until one day, we played against Old Mutual at Ajax, and we beat them. We beat Old Mutual at Ajax, right? And I walked off. I remember seeing that goalkeeper coach. He was just looking at me like that, almost like
Okay.
you didn't come back. Like yeah, but you didn't call me or say anything for me to come back. So
It was quiet.
why should I come back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I see.
and
Tera say it was because I was scared.
I see. You know what? This
Scared for who?
scared of what? This guy. And what I see here, we have the royalty that's here. We have Sejo is here, Sedwin George is here, Cole is here. You know, the legends are here, the big guns are here. Then Cole says,
My brothers.
yeah, he says we play a game called dog, and when you drop a ball 3 times, we smack your head. Brendan is one of the best in the game. He doesn't drop the ball much, and we barely hit him. His ball control is top. Hey,
My friend, like I always say, I'm a product of Ajax. So if you're a product of Ajax, my friend, those things it comes naturally.
nah. No, we both products of IX. What are you trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, but you from the other side of the product, you know. You
Yeah,
from
please.
the technical side of the management side. Yeah, there.
Right. Now, I want to ask Pisa, man, since you've been talking about IX and your journey to IX, how important is IX Cape Town to Cape Town, the whole of the Cape Flats area? How important is it to have that team?
Yo, my man, I think not only for Cape Town, but I think for South African football. Cape Town is Ajax Cape Town is probably it's the factory shop, if I can say it like that. And I know, most of the people on this live know all the products and all the players Ajax have produced over the years. Top players, legends, and players going overseas, playing for Ajax Amsterdam, different clubs. And I think without without Ajax and that amazing academy that Ajax have, and I think it negatively affects South African football.
Yeah.
That's what I personally think because if I look at myself and if I take myself from when I got to Ajax or before I got to Ajax and look at myself now, I can definitely say that Ajax played a major role, and all the coaches and all the staff there, players I played with, they played a major role in
Mm.
the development of my career, you know. And I think without them, I wouldn't have been where I am today. Even though it, it, it takes me to also work hard and wanting to learn and all that, but credit must go to them, definitely. I don't think there's a lot of things going around about Ajax this, Ajax that. But if you take all that stuff away, just focus on the football. I don't think there's one player that came through the academy at Ajax that can say anything bad about Ajax's development.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's probably the best academy in South Africa. And I think for South African football in general, Ajax plays a bigger role in that. Because if you look at most of the teams in the PSL, you see products of Ajax. Definitely, you see products of Ajax. And if you ask those players, you ask those players like about their development and about anything of football, Ajax will always come up. Ajax will always be in their sentences because that's just how it is. Ajax leaves a mark on your heart, Like, for me, I'll always love Ajax. The brand, like, me and my man, I'm Ajax mad.
I know. And we can't talk about what we spoke about the last time we were together. That conversation we had where you said,
no.
We can't talk about that now.
Yeah, but that's why I say if you take everything away and just focus on the football and the development, Ajax stands out above all, if I can say so.
They do. Terra says something here. Terra says, Dumi, to be honest, from day one, he showed class. He showed his class in his first 2 days. We knew from there he's ours. Great lad. So this guy let you train for the whole month, but he saw your talent on the first 2 days.
My friend. Ish. And you only tell me now.
Now
only.
This guy.
But okay, there's a reason for everything to happen.
Nah.
There's a reason, yeah.
Cyril says you were a top striker under Coach Mushin. Temi says you were a great sprinter in high school. So there's a lot of stuff that
my friend, Oshedwin at AF used to play under Coach Mushin. Used to play a game called Old Against Young. So we take all the young players, say up until 20 something, at Ajax, the youngsters is always more. So our older players will have players that's from 23 or 24 up. So we used to play that game and I would always play striker. I wouldn't want to be in the poles. Use other keepers to stand. I'll be playing the inside and I used to enjoy myself. Because for me, it's just to be on a football pitch, my man, for me it's amazing. To be, even if you can put me, if you must take me now, my friend, and say, go play Saturday for Stormers, I'll go, my friend. I'll go. Or go play for the Proteas on the weekend. I'll go. Because I know I'll enjoy myself. And even though I might not be on the same level as that players, because they're doing it, that's their profession. And I'll still go out and I'll enjoy myself and I'll do my best because that's just who I am.
Yeah, but you
and sprinter, I could have been there by the IAAF, my friend.
With Wade van Nicker.
Yeah, running there in Akani Sempini.
I don't
my friend.
Yeah, but you
don't believe it.
The opportunity.
What do you say now? Don't believe it. My friend, I tell you, when this lockdown is over, we go run. I promise you only see my back number plate.
The missus is here. Hello, Mrs. Peterson. Hello.
Hello, baby.
She's sitting in the lounge.
No, she's sitting next to me.
Now, okay, we've been having this fun. I can hear we've been having this fun and joking and stuff like that. 20th December 2014, Lucas Moripe Stadium against Sundowns. You clash with Anthony Lafort, serious injury, knee ligaments torn. 19-year-old. What's happening here?
18-year-old, my friend, not 19.
Nah, football age, man. Football age.
Yeah. You know, um, I think any footballer, like it doesn't matter what age you are, when
Mm,
you have an injury like that, that definitely plays with your mind.
mm.
Like the first thing that goes through your mind is it serious? That time you're on the pitch, you're thinking, is this serious? Is it gonna end my career? And all that stuff, you know? And for me, it was, I don't know what was in me that time, but for me, I was in the same, myself and Anton Lefort were in the same ambulance on the way to the hospital.
Did you clap him?
No, we were laughing, my friend. I was busy making jokes there because the funny part was he was strapped, no, in the
Mm.
middle of the ambulance. I was there on the side bunkie. Put me there on the side bunkie. I had to hold on to the window every time we take a turn. And we were laughing, my friend. And I don't know why, but there's just something in me that at that time there was still like this positivity.
Mm,
And I won't lie to you, the the thoughts goes through your mind is obviously is this gonna like end my career? Is this gonna have a negative impact on my career and my life and all that? Because you must know what happened prior to that was I was promoted the season before that,
mm,
and I was playing, and everything was going well for me. And I went on trial in November, Ajax Amsterdam, and came back, played, got injured. In January, Ajax Amsterdam asked about me because they were looking for keepers. And that's when they signed Onana, Andres Onana.
Eish.
And, you know, even that time, you start thinking, it's like, that could have been me.
Mm,
But one thing for me that was so significant about that injury, like till today, like I still replay it in my mind because it's an encouragement for me because that injury brought me closer to God. And if I think about it, before that injury, it was all about me. I was the center of attraction. Like
mm,
everything revolved around me. Look, I did this, I achieved this, I won this, and all that. But it took my injury to bring me closer to God and Him telling me that, look, I'm in control here, not you. This isn't about you. Because, look here, if I take this away,
you
you're
have nothing.
nothing. Understand? And that for me was encouraging because through that time, like I had Bruce and I had amazing support. My wife that time was my girlfriend. She was by my side always. She slept at the hospital in a chair next to
Mm,
me. And that's, for me, that's amazing, to have that support from the family and friends, the people, when you go through difficult times, that's when you see like your true friends, your true supporters and people who have your back, you know. And I can gladly say that the people that were there for me that time are still in my life. And that showed me that they are there not because I'm a pro footballer and all that, but they are there to support me and they believe in me. And
yeah.
that made everything easy for me. Like that whole rehab, like you can ask, guys used to ask me when I come into training, like, why are you so happy? You're on crutches, you can't even, you have three legs and you can't walk, why are you so happy and all that? I said, because like God is good, man. Like why should I be angry? Why should I sulk and go in the corner and feel pity and all that? Because that's not gonna help me. And
Mm,
you know, at that time the doctors told me, look, you might not play football again. I said, look, that's not for you to decide.
mm,
And started with my rehab and all that stuff. Went back to the doctor, saw me, said, okay, everything went well. You're looking good. So 18 months before you set foot on the field, like before you start training or anything. I said, okay, cool. That's what you feel. That's what you say. But I know he's not in control. He's not in charge.
Mm.
At 12 months, I played my first game again, you know, and that doctor told me like he never, he's like in his whole life, he's never seen someone recover so quickly from an injury like that. I'm like, yeah, because I believe that there's a reason things happen, you know, and
Yeah.
I believe that reason was to bring me closer to God, and me obeying that, getting closer to Him, He healed me quicker.
Yeah.
I was back quicker. I was stronger, positive. I was a different person.
Mm.
Like nothing, like until today, nothing can get me down because I know that God is there, He's alive, and He's looking after me.
Mm.
So, like today, I can face anything, whether it's injury, whether it's anything, my friend, any setback, I can face knowing that I'll come back stronger.
Yeah. You know what? As you're talking, it's like deja vu to me, man, because I remember it was 2018 whilst we were still at Ajax, where you said the very same thing that the injury brought you closer to God. And as I was preparing for this chat, that article came up and I was checking. I was like, flip, I did this thing with Pizza, like it was like 3, 4 years
Mm.
ago. You understand? And most people, they won't understand when you talk about your relationship with God and God bringing you closer to Him through that injury. Because I remember also in the conversation we had back then, you said, as an 18-year-old, there were things that were there for you to do and stuff like that. But it was a blessing in disguise for that injury to happen so that your mind doesn't go and do those kind of stuff. It actually like was like, you know what, don't do that stuff. Focus here. If you don't focus here, I'll take it away from you.
Yeah, definitely. Because, like, if I think back now and like seeing how I was as a person, as a footballer, and
Mm,
knowing that it was everything like revolved around me, and thinking that what if that time I signed with Ajax Amsterdam, you know,
mm,
how was my relationship with God gonna be,
mm,
you know, like was it gonna be me being further away from Him or being closer?
mm,
And for me, that was more important for me to be closer to God than going to Ajax Amsterdam,
yeah.
you know, and the fact that He brought me through all that made me forget about that Ajax Amsterdam thing and what this could have, should have, would have, all that. So I don't look back at what could have happened, what all that. All I know is that God has a plan for me, and I'm willing to walk this path with Him
Mm,
and to go wherever He's gonna take me.
yeah. This guy Cole is killing you. He says, Dumi, this guy is someone a player wants in a dressing room, never a dull moment. And then he goes and says, haha, he has his dancing skills and his impersonations. So it's a good thing for you to be next to next to Cole in the dressing room. He enjoys having you around. I see.
He's the clown.
He's a clown.
Are you saying I'm the clown? He's the clown in the dressing room.
There, there. So now let's move on. 2015-2016 season under coach Roger Disa. Started the season, you win the MTN 8. You beat Chiefs in PE. I know for a fact that that was one of the biggest moments in peril for the club, for the owners. I know. For you as a player, even though you didn't play that much into winning, how was the whole winning the MTN 8 thingy for you?
Look, for me, it was amazing, you know,
Mm,
because you know that all odds were against us. Like, people, when you take Ajax Chiefs, and they say, okay, experience, Ajax have youngsters, all that stuff. But for me, it was definitely a moment I'll never forget in my life
mm,
because just seeing the character of our players and the mentality they had going into that game, like even throughout the MTN 8, was amazing. And I think that game, that final was all about team, you know. Even though Nathan scored, I mean, it was it was all about team.
yeah.
And seeing that doesn't matter what you come up against. If you perform as a unit and if you have one common goal in mind, like
Mm,
you can sky's the limit, my friend. You can go wherever you want to go. You can achieve
yeah.
whatever you want to achieve. And that was amazing for me to see. And also just knowing the fact that people never expected Ajax to win it
Mm,
and going on to win it.
yeah.
That was amazing for me. Just being in the final alone was, for me, was a amazing achievement for Ajax, for that team. And I was definitely proud of the team and of the players,
Mm,
because I know that um we not whoever we play, like if you play the big teams, they're always the favorites. You're the underdog, and to prove people wrong and to it's just uh amazing for me, man,
yeah.
against all odds.
Yeah. And one guy that was on form that day was Lolo Clip.
My friend.
May his soul rest in peace.
He,
How important was that guy in the dressing room?
yeah,
Ajax man.
definitely big character.
Mm,
Think lot of the boys that grew up, seeing him play and all that, they were definitely inspired by him.
mm.
And I think like that final alone, he was probably the best form of his life.
Yeah, yeah. Can
He
say
had
that
an
again.
amazing game, and you know, it's always when you as a player, when you see stuff like that, like it encourages you, man. It motivates you
Mm,
to give your best and do your best. And I can only imagine like the other 10 players on the field at that time seeing him go about doing what he's doing that day. Like I was inspired sitting up there. I can only imagine like how they were feeling
mm,
and what it made them want to do. And
mm.
at the end of the day, it was like things like that I think made that team do so well in that game
Yeah,
because you had players putting their hand up and saying, "Look, it's all
I'm
or
here.
nothing."
Mm.
You know, even if you look at Nathan Paulson in that game, my friend, he was
Lange,
elbowing left,
lange.
right, and center. But I mean, it was amazing, man. It was amazing. We won't talk about the after party, but
Yeah,
it
no.
was amazing.
That's why we don't deal with after parties here. And I think it was Timmy's first time in PE. Timmy went there for the first time to PE. Now, let's talk about there's a gentleman that you played with. He was a goalkeeper, Ansi Yakola. You were next to him. You were debutizing for him. What
The
did you
flying
learn from
fin.
that guy? Yeah, from Finland, because immediately after everything happened, he went and signed for a championship side in England. I think it
Mm.
was Reading. Yeah, for Reading. What did you learn from him?
Yo, character, my friend.
Mm,
Because that guy. and also determination and hard work. That guy used to, like, I used to be early at the club, but when I used to come in there, he was busy pumping weights in the morning, working out and doing his thing. And on the field, he was phenomenal, you know.
Mm.
And you know, obviously learning a lot from him because it was myself, Jody, you know, two young goalkeepers, and obviously having Ansi there was, I think, was a benefit for us
Mm.
because obviously he's been around, and we had a goalkeeper coach, Sander Westerveld, also at that time. So having people like that around you, it definitely motivates you, and also like seeing what they do off the field. I'm training extra in the gym and like paying off on the player field, you
Mm.
know. Like for Ansi, I mean, he had a phenomenal time at Ajax. We got nominated for goalkeeper of the season at he got player of the season at Ajax and all that. And that stuff, like people might say that, but how do you feel about that? For me, it's amazing because knowing that I have the ability to learn from this guy who is a phenomenal goalkeeper and has such a big character, and just taking in those tips from him, speaking to him and just hearing, like listening to him, you know,
Yeah.
because I mean, he's from a different part of the world and, you know, just taking advice from him. It was definitely for me, it was an add on in my career. And there's a lot of things I could take out of his training methods and how he deals with certain things and all that. That guy used to get angry. My friend, you come off halftime or after a game and he knows that people didn't give their all. My friend, they at Maritzburg, Eric Walla Stadium. Ne?
Mm.
One day we came off there, my friend, he hit that door. Punched right through that door, my friend. And like 2 seasons after that, we went back, that door was still the same.
See.
So yeah, it was amazing, having him and playing with him, sharing a training room with that guy. And
Mm.
I that's definitely moments that I cherish in my career.
Mm. Yeah. Like, there's another superstar who just joined us. Kaketo Machadibudu. He's late.
Machadi Puzo, my
He just joined
brother,
us. Herald.
Machadi.
How's he? Look at this guy. Now, Pisa, 2 seasons after the team won the MTN8, had a good run under Coach Roger. The unthinkable. Someone was calling me now. Eish,
My friend, come
these
on, man.
people, they was calling. Eish. No, what I
Interview.
was saying is, 2 seasons after winning the MTN8, the unthinkable thing happens. Ajax gets relegated. I know it was like the toughest time ever because it dragged for a while. The court case and what and what would. How stressful was it for the players? Leave the relegation part.
Man,
The part whereby it dragged for months
mm,
and months. Going to court, going to court. Like, how was
yeah.
it? How stressful was it for you guys?
I mean, very stressful. I think I remember there was a time like we used to have so many meetings
Mm.
with coaches and people coming back and saying, look, there's another court case, this case was postponed and we just have to keep on training and keep on, and at that time it's difficult to just go about training as per normal.
Mm.
Because I mean that's playing in your mind. It's like, are we gonna get relegated? What's gonna happen? This, that, and all that stuff. It just made like you could feel the environment
Mm.
like turning a bit sour, you know. Could feel the atmosphere at the club was different because everyone, like, it's not only the players, you know, staff members, you know, people started getting worried because I mean that's natural reaction of human being. And I remember us going to Yando, my
And
friend, to prepare
the playoffs.
for playoffs and all that, and getting there. And the next day they tell us, look, we're not playing, we got relegated, we must go back.
Mm.
Can you imagine that 7 hour bus trip back to Johannesburg and then fly to Cape Town? It was probably the longest bus trip of my life. And you could see the players were disappointed, and you know, you start feeling that could you have done better as a player, and where did we go wrong, stuff like that, man.
Mm.
But then again, I believe that, you know, things happen for a reason. Like, I just feel that certain things we can't control, and that's just how football is, you know, and that's just how life is.
Yeah. There's good times and bad times, man. You just have to roll with
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Yep.
And then when you stay for another season after the team gets relegated, just missing out on a playoff spot. So I want to know, from your side, was it a matter of saying, you know what, I still have a contract with Ajax, let me fight it out, see if the team can go back to the Absa Premiership, or was it a matter of, you know what, this team has done so much for me, I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for them. Let me go try again and see what will happen.
I think for me, definitely, it was like, that's my family, that's my home, you
Mm,
know. And for me, it was my friend. I want to go out and just give my best because I know obviously I was in the last season, my contract,
mm,
and it was. I remember there was times where people were worried about, um, am I gonna just go about and do my own thing because I know I'm gonna get a PSL contract, stuff like that, you know.
mm,
And I mean, that's not who I am. Like, wherever I am, wherever I find myself, I'll always do my best. You know, in that time, I had a contract with Ajax. I respected my contract, and my mind was there at Ajax. My focus was there
mm.
because for me, at that time, the number one job was to get this team back up. You know, and you know, as captain of the team that time, you definitely feel that pressure,
Yeah.
and you know, people tend to come to you and they want to know from you what's going on, what's happening, all that, you know.
Mm,
And for me, it was just making sure that I give my best, you know. It's easy for me to go and tell the players, look, we have to do our best, we have to honor our contracts, we have to fight and all that. But I don't do it,
yeah.
understand? So for me, it was all about setting the example and still giving my best, no matter what the outcome was going to be or whatever. Just knowing that every time I step off that field, I know I
Mm,
gave my best, you know,
mm,
and my best wasn't always enough. But I mean, as long as I know that I gave my best and I was always willing to fight for that team, you know, I was always willing to leave everything out on the field to get a victory.
mm,
To even if we 2-0 down, I'll still keep on fighting, you know,
mm.
because that's just the person I am and that's just my character.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where I go or what I do, that's always my attitude because
Mm,
I don't believe in doing things half-heartedly because then you might as well not do it,
mm,
you know. And even when I signed a pre-contract with Wits, my focus wasn't at Wits and oh next season this and that and that. No, my focus was still there. And I remember Coach Menzo coming in and asking me that, look, this and this is happening, because obviously it was going about contracts and all that stuff. This and that is happening. So I told him, Coach, if you're worried about me not giving my best and all that, you don't have to worry, because you won't see me, and I give you the authority to tell me to leave if you see me ever just going through the motions, because I can promise you won't get that from me, because even if I try, I can't,
Mm.
because I'm not a believer in that, you know. And I told him, Coach, this is the thing. I'm here and I'm gonna give my best. And I remember I had the same talk with Coach Andres when he came, you
Mm.
know, because obviously he heard stories from everyone that what's happening and all that. I told him the same thing. I said, Coach, if you, because obviously he came and he said, look here, you don't want to change much and you're gonna keep me as the captain and all that. I said, look, I feel honored and I'm grateful for the fact that he just came in and is still putting his trust in me, you know.
Mm.
And I reassured him that as long as I'm here at Ajax, this is my number one priority. I won't leave a field without me knowing that I gave my best, you know. I'll always go out and fight for the team, fight for the badge, and I don't care. Like, even if he had to come to me and tell me, look, I don't want you to be captain anymore, all that. That wasn't going to change anything for me, because I know where my heart is. I know what I'm fighting for. You know, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, I told him at the end of the day, this is my career,
Mm.
and what I do with it is up to me. You know, so I can go about and just mess around because I know I have a contract waiting for me, or
Mm.
I can go out and improve myself. Game in, game out, training session, each and every training session. You know, and that's how I went about things.
Yeah. No, what you just said, it basically shows the type of person that you are. Because when I looked at the stats prior to what happened, you played 17 games, team got relegated. You played 24 games in the NFD. And I'm sure there were offers coming in left or right, but you decided to stay with the team, fight with the team. And then when things didn't happen, you made your move. Yeah, as they say, the rest is history. You're at Vets now, you're enjoying football and stuff like that. But I want to move away from that now. I think it was a few weeks back, I had a conversation with Bruce Nathan, I had a conversation with Nathan Pauls, Keegan Dolly, just to name a few sports chaplains. I want to talk about the sports chaplains. The role that it has played in you as a person, you as a footballer.
My friend, sport chaplaincy played a major role in my career
Mm,
as a footballer and as a person. You know,
mm,
I was told Bruce the first time, like, told him I used to think that your football and your beliefs, like your spirituality, and that are separate. You
mm,
know, it's like you must pick one of the two, because football is this and Christianity is that. You know, and it was, look, I grew up in a Christian family, went to church, like was forced to go to church and to Sunday school and to youth and all that stuff, you know. And
yeah.
as a youngster, you want to do your own thing, but I'm happy that I was forced to go to church, you know,
Mm,
because that was my foundation. And speaking to Bruce and working with Bruce in sports chaplaincy, it, for me it was like for me it was so amazing because I never knew that my football and my faith and all that goes hand in hand, you know.
yeah.
And if only, for me it was, if only I knew about this
Earlier.
before, way before, earlier, you know. And like I said, with my injury, Bruce was there. Like, he helped me, equipped me with tools, and showed me the way, And I'm so grateful for Bruce and for sports chaplains in South Africa, because I can say without them, like, I don't think that today my sport and my religion, my faith, and that would have been hand in hand, It
Yeah.
would probably still be a part for me today. And I think it's not only like Bruce was there for me, like in good times and in bad times. If I needed someone to speak to until today, I can go to him, I can speak to him. And that for me, like, as a sports person, like, you go through so many things. A lot of people just see the outside. They see the car, they see the house, they see you playing, but they don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And what footballers tend to do is try and keep up with that, try to show that, look, yeah, this is how it is. Things go this way if you're pro football and all that. And they're trying to suppress those other things happening behind the scenes. But whether
Yeah.
we like it or not, as footballers, we go through that things, like being dropped from the team, not making the squad, injuries, all that stuff. And with sports chaplaincy, with Bruce, them, like, all those things became easier because he taught me how to deal with those things.
Mm.
And he taught me how to put those things together to make it as one, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that. And I believe that sports chaplaincy or chaplaincy is so important. I think every team in South African football needs a chaplain.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, because there are times where I don't want to speak to the coach. I don't want to speak to the goalkeeper coach. I don't want to speak to a player, you know. I want to
Mm.
speak to someone that sees things from a different point of view,
Yeah.
like someone who's not a footballer, like a chaplain. Like, he maybe knows about football, he watches football and all that, he understands it, but someone who will not give me football advice, you
Not.
know.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because if I go to the coach, he will always have football in mind when he gives me advice.
Yeah.
Understand? If I go to another player, most of the time they will also have that mentality, thinking about football while giving me advice, you know. But when speaking to Bruce, like now here in Joburg, we have another guy, Quinton, who's also part of sports chaplaincy. When speaking to them, like, you always hear a different point of view. You always hear like what they feel, what they think, and they help you through the process.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, Cole and Elazar, they can vouch for that, because I mean, it's made things so much easier for me,
Mm.
you know, getting closer to God. And like today, I play football not for no one else but Him, you know. It's everything I do is for Him, and that makes things easier. Like, obviously, you're gonna get disappointed and all that stuff, but you can handle it better,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you know that there's a purpose. God is in control. And like, for me, I think sports chaplaincy is a necessity in South African football.
Yeah.
That's how
No.
I feel.
Yeah. Because you know what? The sad part is Instagram only allows us 60 minutes to have this conversation,
Ish,
and
my friend. And you
we've been
can talk a
talking.
lot, my friend.
We've been talking for 59 minutes. We only have like 40 something seconds left. But the only thing I want to say, Pizza man, thank you for your time, Kazi. You know, you one of the very few players where if I come knocking, you always open your door. Stay the way you are. All the best in your football career. I know very soon something might happen. You go overseas or whatever it is. That's just my wish. That's just my
God
wish.
willing, my friend.
God
God willing.
willing, my man. Thank you,
Yeah.
Pizza, and to the madam. Thank you, madam, for allowing him to speak to me. You can have him back now. I don't want it anymore. You can have him back. You can have him back. But yeah,
Thanks
but
for having me, brother, man.
yeah,
Away.
and then appreciate the words, man. I'm sure guys that will listen.